Today we are going to discuss a text called Outside the Comfort Zone. We're going to analyze it using the Sefer method. We will also be looking at the text with the CLT method in mind, and lastly, we will check which attainment targets are visible in the material and to what extent.
CEFR is short for the Common European Framework of Reference. It is used to grade every European language learner on the same level. The following levels are used to explain someone's language ability. There are 6 of them, ranging from 1A to C2. If you look at the CEFR levels and the explanation given, B2 level seems most likely for our material. According to CEFR, B2 level reading is explained as can read articles and reports concerned with contemporary problems in which the writer adopts a particular attitude or viewpoint. The text is about stepping out of your comfort zone, a contemporary problem anyone can relate to. The writer expresses his or her opinion in the text. For example, the words overwhelming consensus fall short, and there is no doubt that these kind of achievements bring a greater sense of self-empowerment. For B2 level reading, a learner has to be able to read in an explorative manner. In assignment 3 and 4, students are being asked to find details in the text and use these in their answer. Quickly reading long and complex texts and finding relevant details is one of the can-do statements for reading in an explorative manner for B2. If we look at the levels surrounding B2, for B1 the can-do statement reads, can understand text that consists mainly of high-frequency, everyday or job-related language. If you look at the C1 can-do statement, it says, can understand long and complex factual and literary text, appreciating distinctions of style. Also, looking at the material and analyzing it, it gives us the impression that it's a text aimed at higher general secondary education or the earlier years of university preparatory education.
The government has come up with frameworks that hold attainment targets. Attainment targets are integrated into every class, but are different depending on the subject. The aim of these targets is to provide a guideline for teachers as they work through the year with their students and to aid students in reaching their academic goals. There are a total of 8 attainment targets for the English language, out of which only the first 5 are relevant to this text. The first target, Target 11, which is about becoming familiar with the sound of the English language, can be seen in a few of the exercises, as the students are told to engage in conversation. The second target, to use strategies for expanding your English vocabulary, is most prominently seen in exercise 6, where learners are tasked with filling in the gaps in sentences, and exercise 7, where they have to use the idioms they just discovered and find out what they mean to use them in a conversation. For target 13, learners must use strategies in extracting information from both written and spoken texts. This can be seen in exercise 4, where the students have to find information surrounding keywords. This will teach them to scan a text while still keeping them confined to a specific part. Target 14 tasks learners with finding and judging the value of information. In exercise 3, students are asked to answer questions about the text. This will force them to judge every piece of information in the text on its relevance. For the last target, students have to present each other with a picture of their daily lives. Exercise 7 asks students to do just that. They have to talk about their personal life while using the newly learned phrases.
The basic principle of communicative language teaching is that language lessons should prepare learners to use language receptively and productively in an unrehearsed, real context outside of the classroom. It focuses on skills rather than systems. The skills implied are reading, writing, listening, and speaking. Features of CLT are authentic, communicative, meaningful, real input, and emphasis on skills. The CLT approach can be seen in the material in the following ways. Question A is an example of the CLT approach because they ask, Would you feel uncomfortable doing this or being in this situation? This sparks a conversation about a real, meaningful topic. Meaningful means that the assignment's usefulness is not limited to the classroom environment. Therefore, the student can use the information gathered from the assignment in a real-life situation. Input. The learner has to process his or her knowledge into the answer and does not simply choose an answer from the options given. Emphasis on skill. The learner has to read the text and explain his or her personal situation to a student, using the skills reading, speaking, and listening. Communicative. Communication has to take place between the learners. This is the case in this assignment. And authenticity. An authentic text is a stretch of real language produced by a real speaker or writer for a real audience and designed to convey a real message of some sort. The material seems to be authentic based on the way the text is written. However, the source is unknown, so we can't be sure if the material has been taken from a textbook and was written for educational purposes, or taken from a magazine, the last one being authentic. If we take a look at the assignments, you can see that some have been made with CLT in mind. Assignment 4 lets students hone their English language skills by asking them the meaning behind common sayings. Assignments 1, 5, and 8 make sure students are talking to each other to further develop their English skills.